That's Cal Crutchlow on the Nokia-sponsored N-Gauge North Point Honda, and he's on Pirellis now. An interesting situation. Pirelli's, it gives us an opportunity here, doesn't it, really, because Pirelli have picked up the game over the last couple of weeks. They got a bit of criticism back at Thruxton. They weren't really moving forward in time, and the Pirelli runners, despite the fact not publicly but certainly privately, were not happy with the performance of some of the Pirelli tyres, but they got to it. Now that's Eugene Laverty. You remember a little bit of controversy with him at the opening 2 rounds. Nice young man. I mean, there's 3 Lavertys here at the moment. Michael Laverty in the Eddie Stobbart team. The V-Trans rider, John Laverty, who's qualified the best ever he's qualified on a superbike here in this series this year. And then Eugene, the youngster, who's come up from the 125s on the Red Bull Rookies programme, which is a great programme sponsored by Red Bull. And Red Bull look for youngsters and try to move them through the ranks. Of course, this man is at the top end of the ranks, Jay Vincent. Still slightly embarrassed at falling over at the hairpin at Mallory Park, his home round. Of course, Jay was expected to win the home round at Mallory Park. Had that silly little slip-off that anybody could do, and really was only just recovered from the embarrassment of it. I don't know what he's got to be embarrassed about, but there's Clive Paget in the background, of course, team manager. Paget's of Batley, famous to anybody that's involved in motorcycle racing over a great deal of years. Peter Paget, I saw him in the paddock earlier on today. And in the background there, now that's Eugene's dad, Mick, I think.
Much talking about tyre choice going on at the moment.
As you
trying
might.
to predict the weather.
There is the Coventry Ducati entry, and Stuart Easton, their main man, popped in a quick qualifying time yesterday, but was a bit slack for a while or two. I don't know whether he's actually got it nailed, but I think in the wet he could be one to be watching.
He's very smooth rider, brilliant riding style in the wet. I had a quick chat with him yesterday, and he said he was struggling a little bit around here with the 749 Coventry Ducati, but John Hackett, he was convinced, knew what he needed to do just to get things a bit more stable. The bike was a little bit unstable and through a few sections insane.
Yeah, I'm glad you two are sitting comfortable in your lovely big armchairs, thank you. Cal Crutchlow, the man in pole position, you had your best result of last year here at Oulton Park.
Yeah, we did. 5th, the same as Mondello Park, but yeah, I love it, this place, and you know, qualified fastest in both qualifying sessions, so really happy, and we're fastest in the wet on Friday as well, so looking forward to the race.
So this circuit, really suits your bike?
Yeah, we just, you know, we've got the whole of the North Point N-Gauge team. We've got the bike dialed in for the wet and dry, so you know, it's a bit shame that it has turned wet and now it's heating up, so I don't know which way we'll go at the moment. It's
a real fast flowing track, this one. Riders love it. What's your favourite bit of it?
I don't know, to be honest. I just think it's how flowing the circuit is. I like flowing circuits. I don't particularly like stop-start and then long corners, but this is just perfect for my riding style and the whole of the team's bike.
Yeah, it is. It's getting hotter already. I'll leave you to it. Let's have a word with Tom Sykes. He's in 2nd position. He had a great race at Mallory last week. If I can just jump in and have a word. You can't see, he's the man that's always smiling, but we can't see that at the moment. Are you happy at the moment?
Oh, I'm happy enough. You know, it's a little damp, but we went good in the free practice in the wet conditions, but who knows, it's a totally different situation now, and you know, it's going to be a really close race and a very difficult one because everyone's going to be pushing, but you know, we've got a good setup and we'll see what happens.
How quickly will this track dry out?
I should imagine fairly quickly. Round the back there under the trees, it's away steaming, so now we'll see.
Okay, best of luck. Stuart Easton in 3rd. Let me just walk around, see if I can grab a word. Cameraman loves it, weaving in and out of all these women. Stuart, can I have just a quick word? This track suit your bike?
It has done in the past, but we've got a lot more horsepower now. You know, the thing's really fast in a straight line, which obviously makes it harder to set up.
It's quite an undulating track. You don't always see that in television. What's it going to be like in the wet?
Just like everywhere else, you know, you just got to take it steady and be as smooth as you can and see how we get on.
Is this a track that you like? A lot of riders like the fast flowing aspects of it.
I like it. Yeah. Just a bit of a gamble now with the tyres, because I can see steam coming off the road. It's drying that fast, so we're going to put a dry rear end and a wet front. But saying that, it looks like everybody else is as well.
Yeah, it's just not knowing quite what's going to happen.
No, we'll just have to keep it on its wheels, hopefully, and see if we can get into the top 3 at the end.
Okay, best of luck. And the man in 4th is Paget's rider, Jay Vincent. Jay, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm nervous as hell at the moment. I'll tell you what a gamble this is going to be, so I don't know, we've just got to hope that we made the right tyre choice here.
What's the gamble? What tyre choice have you made?
We've got a full wet front in and a full dry rear end, so I just got to hope this. I mean, look, the track's soaking wet in the minute, but we've got a long race here in front of us, so anything can happen, and we've just got to hope it dries up for the second half.
Yeah, that's the problem here. It will dry quickly. Some of the guys were saying that bit underneath the trees, but really the rest of the track, with the size of field that's on this grid, it will dry quickly.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping for. That's why we've gambled this way. So clouds are looking clear up in the sky, so I don't think it's going to rain again. So hopefully we made the right choice.
Yeah, well, hopefully you have. Best of luck. Let's come round here, see if I can have a word with Clive Paget. He's walking off. I know he's obviously running off. He's not very keen. How are you? What's Leon got on his bike?
It's a lottery. We've got a wet front and we have a soft rear in both the boys' bikes, but we've gone for basically a dry setup for the rear, and with the hope that it dries out and we can come through strong at the end. Who knows? It really is a lottery. We'll just see.
But everyone's in the same situation.
Absolutely. It's making a best guess.
Okay. Thanks very much for the moment. Let's see who else I can grab. We have spoken to Leon. Maybe try and quickly grab a word with him. I'm not stalking Clive Paget, honestly. Leon, how are you feeling?
Yeah, not very good.
A lot of nervous riders out here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's not so good when this happens, but we're just going to go for a gamble. We've gone for a dry rear. You know what I mean? I know the circuit normally dries pretty quick, so we'll just see how it goes, really.
Okay, best of luck. See if I can very quickly grab a word with Craig Jones. About to get chucked off the grid in spectacular style. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty confident. I mean, I'm seeing a scatter of tyres around the grid, and yeah.
What have you got on your bike?
We're going for full wets. I think they're going to lose too much time at the beginning to even consider catching at the end. We'll see.
Okay, best of luck. Well, I am getting chucked off for the second time today, so I better go back to Keith, who's in the comfort of the commentary box.
Lee Mackenzie's just joined us in the commentary position at the moment. She's looking right at the back of her dad. So as we prepare ourselves, it's got a bit of a smile. It's got a jovial atmosphere here in the commentary position at the minute. It's not often that we have Ollie Bridewell still with us, John Reynolds of course, Chris Vermeulen is out there as well as we get ready to get under power. The red lights are on now, and off we go. Jay Vincent, oh, it's spinning wheels everywhere, all over the place, and the front three rows have got themselves in a right mess, and straight through has gone Youngie. Youngie's gone straight into the lead. Well, as if by some kind of magic, we didn't bring the commentators blind. Well, that's a nice, neat little trick there that he managed to. I'll tell you what, it was good from our cameraman as well. He was right on it. But Paul Young, 96, leads from Cal Crutchlow in second place at the moment. Kieran Murphy third on the Gold Star bike, 98. Superb stuff. And it looks like Jonesy back in fifth place as well at the minute. Craig Jones getting a fine start too, off row 3 on the wet tyres. Well, you've got to bet that this man has chosen the right tyres for these conditions at the moment. Neil was waiting to get that one in, weren't you?
I was going to say, it's an educated guess or a fairly safe bet that Youngie has chosen full wets and maybe got it right this time.
Yeah, indeed. Cal Crutchlow under a lot of pressure then from 98. That's Kieran Murphy. Kieran Murphy, well, he's going to be keen to get a ride on here. We can only guess that those guys have got full wets in at the moment because their confidence level through the fast part of this early lap.
Paul Young is doing exactly what he has to do. He just has to get as much space between himself and these other riders because you see how warm it is, and I think it will dry out very quickly.
So 96 Paul Young, then it is 35 Cal Crutchlow, 98 Kieran Murphy. Up the inside now comes Craig Jones in the 4th place on the 18 bike. It is Jonesy at his. Got to be careful through here, tiptoeing through on lap 1, but it is drying already around this part of the track, and those with wet tyres on are not going to enjoy that much at all. Chris Vermeulen now joins us in commentary. We'll have a word with him in a moment because, of course, he was a bit of a past master at this class, up and over Druids.
It looks like the Paget boys have gone for some pretty dry tyres because they're nowhere at this moment.
Yeah, but this is the part of the track that those tyres might start to work in, although there's a lot of spray still coming off the wheels. Very quickly, Chris, if you've got a mic in your hand now, what tyres would you have chosen?
I would have went, it's hard to choose with the front, but I would have went for a drier rear than a wet anyway, something like an intermediate, because I think the track is going to dry quite quickly.
OK, well, there you got it from the horse's mouth. A bit of movement there from Cal Crutchlow as he asked for the power very, very early indeed out of Deer's Leap and onto the front straight, but it's still Paul Young backing it in to Old Hall. A little bit wide of the line, though. Paul Young, whoa! You just knew he was going to do that. John Reynolds nearly broke his other leg in the commentary position. He was right out the seat. Never seen anything like it. John Reynolds had a high side.
No grip out there for Paul Young, number 96. Meanwhile, Cal Crutchlow benefited from there. Here we go, having another look at it. Into Old Hall, Paul Young rides wide, opens the throttle on the paint. No
And
grip there.
Just didn't care, did he? I'll tell you what, I'm still laughing for John Reynolds. He nearly leapt over the desk in here. Lap 2 of 16. Don't do it anymore. Now it's Kieran Murphy that's after the rear end of Paul Young as they go through Shell and on towards Britain's.
Jay Vincent, 19th position.
Yeah, looking down, Perry Reaver in 4th place, ex-World Supersport star, of course, the Spaniard on the MSS Discovery bike in front of Tom Sykes in 5th place. Sam Owens is there in 6th place, I think it is. Down towards his chicane, that is Cal Crutchlow, your race leader on the Nokia-sponsored N-Gage North Point Honda, sponsored by Honda. Honda provide the motorcycles. Whoa! Out to the white line. I'll tell you what, if Reynolds does that again, I'm going to have him evicted.
Cal Crutchlow doing a brilliant job using every inch of the track. They're very, very close to the white line, very close to that slippy paint, but at the moment, not a problem. His teammate there, Craig Jones, he's down in 7th position on the other N-Gage Honda.
Oh, and out again. So, well, I don't know what he's got in there, Paul Young, but he's certainly not got the grip at the rear end that he might want at this stage of it as Kieran Murphy comes up to his shoulder. I'll tell you what, good ride from Kieran Murphy at the moment. He's a guy you wouldn't argue with either.
Great ride, yes. His nickname in the programme was Fat Boy Slim, not because he's fat now, but he was fat and now he's slim, apparently.
Just, John, while you're jumping up and down out your chair, just put your foot against the door, will you, just in case a Murphy family decide to come and sort out our Neil. I'll tell you what, Paul Young does like drifting out close to that white line, despite that lack of grip he found on it last time round. Crutchlow, Young and Murphy. Reaver 4th, Sykes still 5th, Owens still in 6th place. Down Cascade, still a lot of water under the tyres there. You can see why the Paget's boys are having a bit of a struggle, because they've got to clear a bit of water. If you've got a slick in the back, there's no water clearance to mention at all. You can get away with it being damp, but not if it's actually picking up water.
If they've got a slick in the back, they'll be disqualified.
Oh yeah, we're on Supersports. Well, you know what I'm saying. That's not the kind of correction I was expecting. I was expecting a much harsher one than that. It was almost gently, yeah, indeed, gently, politely.
Firm but fair.
Still Youngie.
Well, that's Jay Vincent. Jay Vincent now out of the top 20, so these dry tyres weren't the way to go at the moment.
We got number 20, that's a faller as well. That's Pete Spalding on the RT racing bike that's out, and Knickerbrook, and there he is, absolutely okay, although the bike's taken a bit of a belting. Yeah, easily done. Still only on lap 3 of the 16, and I'll tell you what, sweaty palms here, Neil, watching these guys as they drift out towards those white lines.
And Cal Crutchlow, good gap at the moment, 2.6 seconds on that last lap, doing a great job, keeping it smooth.
Fastest lap of the race as well, so very confident indeed. So the pole sitter, Cal Crutchlow. Doesn't matter what the conditions seem to be, Crutchlow's got it pretty much covered. He got caught up in that incident with Eugene Laverty and Rob Frost at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit. Found himself taken out of the race. Not happy with Thruxton, particularly.
Not mistaken, a couple of years ago, Cal Crutchlow was leading the R6 Cup round here and went down when the weather changed.
He'll be very pleased to have heard you mention that at this particular point in the race.
Oh, Youngie likes that paint.
And again, John Reynolds, that's a hat-trick. He's out the chair again.
Because we all know Youngie, we know he's going to open the throttle. We know that he can't not open the throttle. That's just the way he rides.
I wonder if he's focally challenged. He just kind of keeps finding himself right out there, doesn't he, on the white line. Most people have learned it by now. It's the 3rd time he's been out there spinning like that.
It's like when he starts to wind that throttle on, there's no going back.
Well, with a Supersports bike, I suppose that's right. You just want to keep the momentum up, don't you? Let's take another look at it.
Same corner, Old Hall on the exit. Whoa!
He just sat it up, though, in time that time, didn't he? He got it up on the fat bit of the tyre and caution to the wind and throttle pinned.
He's scaring Kieran Murphy, I reckon.
Takes a lot of scaring.
Perry Reaver in 4th position. Tom Sykes having a good ride in 5th on the SUZUKI.
And the fastest of the Supersports Cup for privateers is Paul Shoesmith at the moment on bike 69 on the Speed Freak Racing Team bike.
That is a brilliant ride for Shuey in 8th position. He's on an Expelgarda R6, a proper bike from last year's World Supersport Championship, but still a brilliant ride. There's a lot of track days here with him and James Whitman, the Speed Freaks company. Well, great ride for Paul Shoesmith. He does like Oulton Park.
Well, you got Paul Stewart behind him, of course, on the Buff Shark Kawasaki as well, sponsored bike. And I think his teammate had a massive off at the Stuart Easton incident at Thruxton, so the Buff boys Don't quite know what the story is there. Perhaps they'll let us know later in the day. Still Youngie, second place for him. Still Cal Crutchlow, 4.9 seconds out front as he came round last time round. We're about to come to the line again. The clock is counting. Crutchlow goes over the line. And how long will it be now? Paul Young next up, 6.7 seconds. Crutchlow is just blowing away at the front. Absolutely cleared off.
Youngie
again
on the pin again.
It's okay. Even John Reynolds has got used to it now. He's sitting down comfortably.
Peraribi's making ground here.
Well, this might just be the kind of, again, Pirelli shot Reba. Bit of a pass master in the wet as well. Fastest lap 151.4.
2 seconds faster than second man Paul Young.
Yeah, just clearing off at the front. He's obviously got the perfect tyre combination.
You can see the track drying out there. He's at Shellow's hairpin there, mid-corner. There's dry line through there.
Pirellis are us on both Crutchlow and Jones. Jonesy down in 6th place. Not happy today, that's for sure.
Metzler or Pirelli?
Well, I think Metzler, but one and the same virtually. Are they not?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Come out of the same factory as far as I'm aware, but just choose to use different names.
You're picking on me.
Yeah.
He is he, Chris? Thank you. Chris Vermeulen with us here. And I don't know what he chose, but it was the right tyres, Chris.
Yeah. In World Superbike, obviously we do a lot with Pirelli, and they do have a very good wet weather tyre. Normally 2 compounds that I know of, so there's a softer one and a harder one, and I think most of the guys would have stuck with the softer one here. So obviously, whatever Cal Crutchlow has got on, he's done the right thing.
If you remember back to Brands Hatch last year when Leon Haslam won on the Pirellis on the Ducati last year, it was in similar conditions, drying out. Other guys were on wet tyres, but the Pirellis held up the best in the closing stages of the race.
Good memory. That was a fantastic ride for Leon, his first British Superbike win. And actually, Pirelli must have been dining out on that for a month, I'd have thought, afterwards, to come to Britain and whoop all the John Reynolds and co of our superstars. Crutchlow, Murphy, Reba. Still Kieran Murphy. Good shout for Kieran Murphy. How's your Bennett's rider of the day coming along, Neil, in your mind?
You know, it's Paul Young's down to 4th position. Reba up to 3rd. Must have at the moment. Kieran Murphy now in 2nd.
Kieran Murphy's been in 2nd for ages. He's just been sitting there on the Gold Star bike since I don't know when. Crutchlow's cleared off. Youngie, once he slipped back behind Kieran Murphy, he's just... Murphy has been one of the most consistent riders out on the racetrack next to Crutchlow, but it's a big gap now down to him. 8.4 seconds from Crutchlow to Murphy. It's all going to be, as this racetrack dries out, we're going to get the true picture, aren't we? Where is... Well, I was looking for Camier right off of our leaderboard, and we've only got 20 on this monitor, and they're not even on the screen. Eugene Laverty is down in 13th place. Luke Quigley, haven't heard much from him this year at the moment. I thought he'd have a good Thruxton, but he's in fact, a good Mallory, but he's in 9th place at the moment on bike number 6. Craig Jones still 6th on bike 18. Oh, and again, Crutchlow snaps sideways, just, you don't care. Still quite a lot of water on that bit of the track, despite the fact that it is drying.
Just looking on the leaderboard there, the 3 main championship contenders, Stuart Easton, Leon Camier and Jay Vincent, they're not in the picture at all.
So the dry weather scenario certainly didn't work out, and there you go. John Reynolds could have ridden the Supersports bike if he wanted to. He did say full wets. Mind you, if you looked at him in here, you'd think he was riding one.
Mind you, we have got 10 laps to go, and it's drying out very quickly.
Yeah, and you can make up a lot of time on a 2.6 mile circuit when it makes that much difference. Lap 7 of 16 we've done. All Crutchlow can really do is just make the most of his motorcycle, and if it does dry and he hasn't got the right tyres on, he's just got to try and avoid spinning everything everywhere and make it last to the end.
I just hope that he's got enough gap. That's Paul Shoesmith there.
Yeah, he's the leading
James Whitham's old number 69.
Supersport Cup rider, just having been duffed up. What was that? Was that Paul Stewart that's just gone past him?
Paul Shoesmith 2nd in that bunch.
84 is Paul Stewart. He was behind Shoesmith just a moment ago, but the movement has been done. He's dropped another place there as well. I think that's Craig Sproston that's gone through too on the 16 bike.
Paul Shoesmith's suspension technician, full-time suspension technician, is Mick Grant.
That's a worry, isn't it? I thought they had solid suspension back then. In fact, I remember it. Crutchlow and Murphy, 9 seconds the difference between first and second now. Kieran Murphy, though, just 0.2 of a second in front of Perry Reba. Reba is closing in on the MSS Discovery Kawasaki. Nick Morgan is back here with us. He took a weekend off at Mallory Park. Very unusual indeed, because Nick Morgan lives, breathes and sleeps motorcycles, so it was very unusual not to see him at Mallory Park, but he's regathered his momentum. And Perry Reba, if he can manage a podium, that will be a result for MSS Discovery. They've had a really, really torrid time at the head of the season.
And Stuart Easton. It's one of the Paget's bikes. Looks like Jay Vincent.
It certainly does, and I tell you what, he is upright, isn't he? He's having a right old struggle.
He's just willing that track to dry out.
28, Andy Weymouth is there with him as well.
21st position.
Well, Andy Weymouth, he's the one that's nicknamed Gobby. 28 from Chadwell St Mary in Essex. Oh dear.
Oh, Leon Camier.
Camier down. Mallory Park, he fell down in qualifying, and he already has an injury that he picked up early on in Mallory. Well, don't bother going picking the bike up. I don't think that's...
maybe not an option.
No, I don't think so. It looks fairly well bent to me. Parts of the fairing that's ripped off underneath it, but Clive Paget will appreciate the effort the young Camier has made to make sure the bike's going to make it back.
I
behind
wonder
the
who made the tyre decision, the riders or Clive.
Yeah, well,
not trying to point a finger.
I was going to say that's a tricky one. It won a lot of experience, Clive Paget.
The reason I say that, some riders like to make a decision, other riders would rather the team make the decision and then go with.
I don't know about you, I always made the wrong decision, so I used to get my girlfriend to do it.
That's funny, I used to get your girlfriend to make decisions.
Well, good job she never turned into my wife then, wasn't it, really? At that particular point in time. I suppose that's getting me back for what I said about you at Mallory, isn't it? And I bet Jan gave you hell for a week.
I nearly said there I also got your girlfriend to do it, but...
Yeah, I think we knew where you were heading. Probably explanation isn't necessary, Neil. Crutchlow, 9 seconds in front at the end of lap 8.
Drying out there.
Yeah, it is big time.
Jay Vincent just needs to be patient.
As does Stuart Easton behind him. Similar setups, totally different motorcycles. It's going to be coming back to them, but a long way to go, only a half distance, just over. This is the end of lap 8.
Still not in the top 20.
Let's have a look at the times. Crutchlow got the fastest lap on lap 4.
Oh,
there he is.
Crutchlow lapping these guys.
Already. Halfway through.
They must be shaking their heads.
Gives him an opportunity, though, to get off the line and in the wet stuff, which will cool the tyre just a little bit. That's another problem they don't want to have, is revving the tyre up, getting it too hot.
Well, at this point, Carl Crutchlow, dry lines appearing. He's a lap in front at the moment, but like you said, he'll just try and keep these tyres as cool as possible. On the straight bits where there's water, he'll be veering off. And
I don't know if Perry Reba's gone for a harder wet tyre or something, but he's just done the fastest lap of the race when the track's dried out. So he's moved up to second place and starting to reel in on Crutchlow there.
Good spot there from the youngster in the commentary position at the minute. So.
Still 6 seconds behind, but if he can keep that sort of pace up.
Yeah, I was going to say 6 seconds behind maybe, but if he's made the right choice, Sykes now, Kieran Murphy's dropped to 4th. Tom Sykes is up to 3rd as well, so Tom Sykes is on the move too. Cal Crutchlow's got a bit of work to do, only 5.6 seconds at the end of that lap, the lead over Reba. Here is Crutchlow, right in amongst all the back markers. 44, Kieran Edgerton. And the Ducati man just moving it out the way, not that he had a choice. And look at that dry line all the way up over Clay Hill now. That will just be destroying tyres in a minute or two if you've got the wrong ones on. Flat out all the way up the hill into Druids, where the sun was peeking through the trees. He's not moving around much though, is he? I've got to say, Cal Crutchlow's bike looks like it's staying with him nice and neat.
Would you say, Chris, that the Pirelli wets were a good tyre when conditions get to this situation?
When they start to dry out, yeah, they don't move around a lot. They do stay together quite well when the track dries out. Obviously, when the track gets really dry, you've got to be very careful pushing the front into the turn. But they normally stay with you quite well.
So it's more of a front tyre problem than a rear tyre if it's getting too dry.
It just becomes more dangerous. You know, it's Neil would agree, I guess, being a rider when the rear starts to slide around a bit, it's not too bad. But when you don't have any confidence in the front, then you're really struggling.
Crutchlow's lead is 6.2 seconds. It's gone up a bit over Reba, so Crutchlow's obviously had the hurry-up board hanging over the fence, and Cal Crutchlow is now increased. He has increased his lead over Perry Reba, the Spaniard, in second place. Tom Sykes in third. Kieran Murphy has dropped to fourth place. Youngie is now back into fifth place. Paul Young. Then it's Craig Jones in sixth. Sam Owens seventh. Luke Quigley in eighth. And then the best of the privateers, Paul Seward, in ninth place on bike 84. But he's got a whole load of privateers stuck up behind him. So we'll try and bring you the best of that lot. But at the moment, the best of this lot is Cal Crutchlow.
Well, the last couple of laps as well, Cal Crutchlow has been working his way through traffic, trying to thread his way through the back markers or the riders that are out there on dry tyres. So his lap times weren't brilliant, but they're stabilised again now, pretty much same lap time as Perry Reba.
Very accurate out on the racetrack as well, and he's picking his absolutely perfect lines. He's keeping off the curbs, he's good through the chicanes, he's not making the bike look like it's spinning anywhere to me.
He's a neat rider.
Yeah, very neat.
He came out of he did the R6 Cup a couple of years ago, but he also came out of the Junior Superstock Championship, and he had a year-long battle with Tom Sykes and Craig Jones.
Yeah, legendary those things were. Almost you got to go back to the old Pro-Am days of Neil Mackenzie and Kenny Irons and co. if you want to get back to that kind of form. The Junior Suicides amused. Oh, that's the first one I've seen him sideways.
Man, yeah, the Australians aren't doing a bad job in the Virgin Mobile Cup this year.
At the moment. The Brits will be back, I'm sure. It's a music question from England anyway.
Yeah, I think it's funny.
How do you do? We're all taking it on the nose, thank you.
Yeah, when they get beaten, I'll get it back. Don't worry.
I'll be ringing you up, mate.
Look at Crutchlow's time on lap 10. Still the fastest lap of the race so far. We're on lap 11 now.
Tyres are getting better as it dries up.
Well,
it's incredible.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a bit of a wonder. It's obviously just all the time it's elevated my respect for Cal Crutchlow to have made this work, where all others seem to have struggled very fractionally with it.
First Supersport win on the cards for Cal Crutchlow.
Nokia, Engage, sponsor the North Point Honda boys.
Managed by Gary Eckerold, son of the famous 350 world champion John Eckerold.
One of my heroes, who was actually coming over for this race, believe it or not. He was actually coming over here to watch this.
The hardest man, I think, of all time in GP racing, certainly in the 250 and 350 class.
Yeah, while you keep talking, you see, I'm trying to find me paperwork that Gary gave me earlier on, because I know if I don't name check the people that he told me I've got to, then I'm dead meat. His biggest, he wanted to actually name check Mark Davies and Neil Tuxworth that really helped the team tremendously with motorcycles and backup. And of course, Honda are such sought after motorcycles, you know. Not everybody can have them, can have the help and support from the main protagonist down at Honda, and I'm sure there must be a real shout for budget at Honda. Can you imagine what it's like going to one of their meetings when somebody's asking for a little bit for the North Point boys, a little bit for the Paget's boys, a little bit more for the HM Plant guys, all the time. Honda must be constantly trying to monitor their budget, and I know that Gary Eckerold was really, well, praising particularly Mark Davies and Neil Tuxworth for their help. He really did appreciate their help.
The Honda don't have an official team in Supersport this year. They did in the previous 2 years with Carl Harris and won that title, so I guess the support is spread out now between the North Point Engage team and the Paget Honda team.
So Crutchlow, Sykes has got the quickest lap now, 1 minute 49.3, so Tom Sykes in second place has just bunged in the quickest lap. 7.2 seconds from Tom Sykes in second place now towards Cal Crutchlow. The tyres really are beginning to have an effect as this track dries out. Sykes and Reba have swapped places, and there's just a tenth of a second between those two. Paul Young has dropped to fourth, we knew that already. Kieran Murphy is fifth, now he's slipped behind Paul Young again. Craig Jones is still in sixth place. Sam Owens, good ride from him, in seventh, with Luke Quigley in eighth place. Then the best of the privateers, Shuey on bike 69 in ninth place overall, but the leading privateer. Still though, they are chasing this guy. He has done a perfect job right from the green light.
Done a perfect job, kept it smooth, kept off that white paint that Youngie likes so much, and tyres work well. You can see the rear end wiggling around a little bit, particularly onto the start finish now, but these Metzlers hanging together perfectly.
Up towards Druids, a double right-hander. And it gets more difficult for Neil Mackenzie as every race goes by. Bennett's rider of the day. His list is getting long.
Well, Bennett's rider of the day could be the guy that chose Cal Crutchlow's tyres.
Maybe we should have donkey of the day as well. I can give that one if we can work out who has made the worst decisions of the day.
I can think of a few from last year.
Be a popular decision, wouldn't it? Coming towards lap 13, we are dropping down the hill towards Cascades Corner now. Absolutely inch perfect. Cal Crutchlow. Tell you what, this is going to be like all good teams. I mean, I have to say in this team during the course of this year so far, Craig Jones has had the upper hand, but this really is going to be a slap in the face for the Northwich rider. He's suddenly going to think to himself, whoops, now I've got my teammate all over me.
Jonesy, this is his local race.
Jonesy down in 6th place, and I know he was so desperate to do well here. But to be beaten well and truly and be thrashed by your teammate, can only assume that they went for the same choice of tyres. Here's Kieran Murphy and Jay Vincent, obviously with that man Easton right up behind him. So Stuart Easton there as well, as their tyres start to come into their own. Long way down the order though.
Still out the top 20 for Jay Vincent and Stuart Easton.
Here's the 2nd place battle, and it's not a battle anymore because Sykes is cleared off from Perry Reaver. Perry Reaver was in 2nd place. 36 Tom Sykes rode very, very well at Mallory Park. Dumped it at Brands Hatch. Can't remember what happened to him at Thruxton. Let's have a quick look into the old Mr. Sykes, as he's known in the trade. Looking good on the TAS Suzuki. Hector Neal, team owner. Philip Neal, team manager. Had a terrible Thruxton. 7 points only scored. So Sykes has put together a couple of good rides. One last week at Mallory, and this week now at Oulton Park, so he's coming into his own on the TAS Suzuki. Hector Neal, a long-time sponsor of motorcycle racing, the Ulsterman, going back before my era, which is a long time.
Big event for them coming up soon, the Northwest 200.
Yeah, which will be immediately the weekend after, the Saturday after Mondello. So anybody that's out partying for Mondello, you really should stay an extra week and go up the Colt, up to the north of Ireland, north-west of course, and enjoy the Northwest 200. We'll all be up there, that's for sure. And if it's a sunny weekend, you cannot beat the Northwest 200. It's the biggest spectator event in the British calendar.
Fantastic. Tom Sykes right on Cal Crutchlow now.
Sykes, he just got the right gear in there. I don't know what it is, but he's just been making up time, left, right and centre. Guess who's the fastest man on the track? Jamie Robinson on bike 77 down in 19th place. Just goes to show you that he's chose the right tyres. Jamie Robinson, former Grand Prix rider, is the quickest guy on the track, but if he can do anything from 19th place with just a couple of laps left to go, I'd be amazed.
Well, Tom Sykes, also on Pirellis, looks like he's got poor old Cal Crutchlow done a sterling job from lap 1.
It ain't over yet, of course.
It's not over yet, but Tom Sykes is coming strong.
So Honda versus Suzuki, and the North Point Honda boys might well be delighted here. Look at that, just got the drive on the dry stuff up the hill, Clay Hill it is, and they're not going to see which way Tom Sykes went. I think a little bit of disappointment earlier on in the Superstocks race when Adrian Coates, winner at Thruxton, slung it up the road with a bit of an ambitious manoeuvre up the inside at Cascades, leaving Paul Young to win the race. And now they are going to be rewarded in the hands of Tom Sykes on the TAS Suzuki with a win here, surely, in the Metabo British Supersports race. Just look what he's pulled out on that last few bends. Lap 15 then of the 16 we're on. Into Old Hall. Perry Reaver still in 3rd place at the moment. 96 Paul Young still in 4th place, but a long way behind Reaver.
Cal Crutchlow heading off to the dampness there to cool his tyres down.
Well, it's been a very, very technical race. Who'd have said that Tom Sykes had come from as far back as he did? But you can see why the pace he's got left in him from, look at that, over Cal Crutchlow.
Last lap, 3 seconds on Cal Crutchlow.
Incredible stuff. Looking down to see who else has got personal bests on the last lap. It was Luke Quigley. He's on a personal best last time now. Eugene Laverty as well. So a lot of the big names further down the order because of the tyres they chose. It didn't dry out as quick as they anticipated. And that was certainly without any more rain, and we certainly thought that there would be a little bit more rain. So
Tom Sykes from Huddersfield, the protege of Mick Grant at one time.
Mixed tentacles, they sort of find their way into everybody's lives somewhere along the line, don't they? Have you ever had much to do with Mick, Chris?
He was my team manager when I rode
he was, wasn't he? You and Glenn
in the
Richards.
UK. I was waiting to see if you'd catch on.
Yeah, you're right. And he was, yeah, well, I'm slow, it's my age. Yeah, I forgot about that. Mick was running the Sanyo team there with Russell Savory, wasn't he? And you and Glenn came over.
Me and Glenn came over, and in the year 2000 that was, British Supersport and Superstock Championship.
Right, times have changed. But not for Mick, clearly.
He's enjoying life. He's running his suspension business now, actually. He comes along to Donington Track Attack Premier Days and gets guys' bikes set up, and they go away smiling.
Philip Neal saying, just calm it down, Tom, you've already got a massive lead. Tom Sykes, how long is that lead? Oh, and another fastest lap from Tom Sykes, annihilating things. 147.7, 5.6 second lead over Cal Crutchlow. There is no coming back for Crutchlow. Reba is a further 7 seconds back on Crutchlow. So really, Sykes could almost push it round on this last lap.
Yeah, he's got it in the bag. Nice black line there at the Cascade.
I'll tell you, if he chucks it away now, I think we could see a P45 in the post.
Tom Sykes never stops grinning. He's going to have the biggest grin ever.
He's the funniest guy. He was bouncing about in Craig Jones's caravan at Thruxton, and he eats everything in sight as well. Have you seen him? He's like a locust. I've never seen a young man eat so much. Better not have him in the Vivaldi camp, I think. Ollie Bridewell's still here with us at the moment, because he'll eat every potato you can give him. Sykesy then, a short distance away now. Just made the pass on number 60, Darren Cooper. Through Hizzies. Flip-flop through the right-hander. Little bit of Knickerbrook and then up Clay Hill. The track has changed terrifically.
Perry stopped.
Oh, that is just... I cannot believe that Perry Reba stopped. The MSS Discovery team, just their luck this year. I'm looking down the pit lane now and I can see Musty the Turk, who looks after part of the team as well, is there looking at the monitors, and Nick Morgan is nowhere to be seen either. I know his kids will be watching at home. Apparently they bought a Sky card just to see their dad, and he didn't turn up at Mallory Park, so the kids had to wait, but they're not going to see their dad here either in pit lane, because the victory goes to Tom Sykes. Superb for them. So finally Tom Sykes takes the win. Well deserved. In fact, it's Jones that comes over in 4th place. Murphy comes 5th, so Jonesy manages to pick off a 4th place in the end. Craig Jones grabbing points, which he needs. This year has had a real struggle on the Suzuki. Obviously a Yamaha man last year, always on the front row, always a classy runner, but sadly not getting on as well as Tom Sykes with the TAS Suzukis, as he locks the rear end up all the way down into his corner. Well, the rain has gone, and Tom Sykes also had cleared off into the distance. 8.3 seconds in the end, his lead over Cal Crutchlow. Cal Crutchlow having led for the majority of the race. Paul Young finally coming up onto the podium after the demise of Perry Reba on the MSS Discovery Kawasaki. Craig Jones 4th, Kieran Murphy on the Gold Star Honda 5th place, Sam Owens, Luke Quigley and Paul Shoesmith rounding out our leaderboard. Paul Stewart there, Lee Longdon looking down the order, last point going to Lee Dickinson.